Hello. Hello, everybody. God damn, it's bright out there. Holy ever-loving fuck. Is it gonna lag because of how bright it is? Hopefully not. And frankly, we don't want the lag. We don't want the lag. R.I.P. the Greek god hair. Don't worry, don't worry. I'm still beautiful. I am not Samson. My power did not come from my hair. However, it was a great phase. The hair grew with the character arc, and now we've reached pretty much 3 million on TikTok. We're established on YouTube. We've got good things going for us, so I figured why not look more professional, huh? Maddie's here. Hello, Queen. Everybody say hi to the Queen. Hello, Queen. Hello, Queen. Take me to the Queen. Take me to the Queen. Anyway. My hair's curlier, though. I bet it is. We've got a lot to cover. We got a lot to cover today, folks. Thank you for tuning into the Valenti Videos broadcast. I'm your perfect and humble leader, Chris Valenti. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share this with your friends. Tell them that there's this handsome, fucking stupid-ass New York douchebag who talks politics, and he's on the left, and he's fucking great, and he's funny, and he's smart. However, this is independent media, not like Ben Shapiro or Steven Crowder or Charlie Kirk, not like actual fake independent media, because those people receive millions of dollars of funding from the GOP. This is real independent media, which is another way of saying I'm fucking broke. So if you would like to support the channel, there's a handful of ways you could do it. You could just straight up donate in the chat. You could become a patron on Patreon for $5. You could become a member on YouTube for $5. You could buy some of the dope-ass Valenti Videos merch down below. You could use a 40% off discount on Ground News. And that's about it. Welcome, 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 everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We got work to do. We have got work to do. Take me to the gang. Take me to the gang. I'm 2 minutes late. Don't fire me. No, that's all right, Jackie boy. Everybody, let's get some W Jack, some 07s for Jackie Boy. Jackie Boy came in. That's our lieutenant right there. How you doing, Jackie Boy? Hell yeah, really. Scale of 1 to 10, I scared away from yesterday's speech. I've reached numbness to the point now where I'm not really scared anymore. I've gotten to the point where I'm just making fun of all the people who still support it, because at this point, it's got to be so hard to support Donald Trump. It's got to be so fucking embarrassing. But we got to get a couple things up and going. Kilmar Abrego Garcia hand tattoo is one thing that we're going to need. So let's cover something real quick. Do you guys remember this? Do you remember this a couple of weeks ago when Trump held up this picture of Kilmar Abrego Garcia's hand in the Oval Office? You guys remember this? So here's a zoomed in shot of it. You see how, like, I don't need to tell you that the M and the S and the 1 and the 3 are photoshopped. This is photoshopped. The whole point that the conservatives were trying to say was that the M for marijuana the marijuana leaf represented an M. The smiley represented an S. The cross represented a 1, and somehow the skull represented a 3. I don't know how, right? That was what the conservatives were saying. So what they decided to do was Photoshop an M and an S and a 1 and a 3, right, on top of the knuckles there. Now, would you believe me if I told you that Donald Trump actually thought that the MS and the 1-3 were real? Because he does. He does. I'm going to pull this up for you, and then we're going to record a video, and we're going to talk about this for those who don't watch us live. Could you imagine not watching us live? I couldn't imagine. So let me show you. All right, here we go. Let me get this up. You guys ready? We're gonna do the short recap right now. Imagine if Valenti Videos got a low taper fade. Imagine if Valenti Videos got a low taper fade. Imagine if Valenti Videos got a low taper fade. Sorry. Okay. I love Trump even though he's non-perfect. All right, MLG, please watch this. I just want, you can love Trump all you want, but please don't tell me he's not a fucking idiot. So wait, again, before we watch this, here's the tattoo of the guy. Anybody who likes Trump, You understand that this actual, like the, let me click it so it's full screen. Come on, give it to me. Give me the full screen. All right, you see this? You see the M? Come on, motherfucker. Zoom in. All right, anybody here likes Trump? Who's the Trump supporter? You don't need to be afraid. Nobody's going to bully you here. We don't bully in this chat. That's not what we do here. Is there a Trump supporter here? I forgot your fucking name. I saw you in the chat a second ago. Listen to you while I'm grilling. My neighbor heard you singing through my speaker and looked at me weird. How you doing, neighbor? Hey there, neighbor. I'm cooking up some steaks. You want to come on over? I'll give you some. Don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like that. No, I'm not actually in control of this. It's the streamer. He somehow man. All right, you go back. All right, have a good one. Have a good one, John. Anyway. All right, so Trump, MLG, Jonathan. So Trump, MLG. You at least are smart enough, right? I'm going to give you some credit, some benefit of the doubt here. You're smart enough to know that, like, this tattoo, this is the real tattoo. The conservatives decided to Photoshop the MS-13 here to try and get you to understand what they're claiming these different symbols represent, right? You get that? You understand that? You understand that? Come on, help me out. You understand that, brother? Come on, we're trying to do a little work here on you. So I'm trying to see if we can help you come to terms with reality. MLG. Okay, so you get that. Okay, no, seriously, no. Seriously, you know that's fake. Okay, so now let's watch this. We're going to watch this entire interview, by the way, and we're going to make a video, but this is the short spiel.
We have criminals, murderers, criminals in this country. We have to get them out, and we're doing it. By law. And you'll pick out one man, but even the man that you picked out, he said he wasn't a member of a gang. And then they looked, and on his knuckles, he had MS-13.
There's a dispute
well,
over that.
Wait a minute. He had MS-13 on his knuckles tattooed.
He had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But let's move on.
Wait a minute. Hey, Terry.
He did not have the letter MS-13.
It says MS-13.
That was Photoshopped. So let me
That was Photoshopped. Terry, you can't do that. Hey, they're giving you the big break of a lifetime. You know, you're doing the interview. I picked you because, frankly, I never heard of you, but that's okay. I picked you, Terry. But you're not being very nice. He had MS-13 tattooed.
We'll agree to disagree. I want to move on to something else.
Terry, do you want me to show you the picture?
I saw the picture.
God.
And you think it was Photoshop? Well,
here we go.
Don't Photoshop it. Go look at his hand. He had MS-13.
He did have tattoos that can be interpreted that way. I'm not an expert on them. I want to turn to Ukraine, sir. I want to get to Ukraine.
Dude, Terry's trying so hard to give him an out.
He had MS as clear as you can be, not interpreted. This is why people no longer believe the news, because
when
it's
he was
fake
photographed
news.
in El Salvador, they aren't there. But let's just go on. They aren't there when he's in El Salvador.
They weren't there, but they're there now, right?
No,
but they're there
in
now.
your picture.
Terry.
Ukraine, sir.
He's got MS-13 on his knuckles.
All right.
Okay?
Well, we'll take a look at that.
You do such a disservice.
We'll take a look at that,
Why don't
sir.
you just say, yes, he does, and wait a minute.
Okay.
When we have
we're going to watch that whole interview, guys. But real quick, for the Trump supporter in here, I believe his name was MLG. I'm not going to bully you, but be honest with yourself. Is that not fucking nuts? That's fucking nuts. It's so good that it's almost impossible to tell if the image has been edited. Are you fucking stupid? Bro, are you dead ass? Look, are you fucking serious right now? It was just a mistake. It's not that big of a deal. Brother, they deported this guy to El Salvador. To CCOT, a slave labor camp. And they won't bring him home. How is this not a big deal to you? How is this not a big deal to you? Are you fucking dead ass? He still may be part of MS-13 and probably is. Hey, MLG, notice how you said he may be part and probably is. You want to know why we don't know? Because Trump deported him without due process. Because he didn't give him due process under the law, which everybody in this nation is protected by under the Constitution. Luigi, come si Hilfe, Laus! Laus! Luigi! Luigi, come here! I gotta go fucking get that dog. Luigi. I get that, but don't you think it's a waste of time getting your panties twisted over a likely gang member? No, I care about the Constitution. I care about due process. I care about everybody's civil rights. No. Anyway, Maddie was in the chat. I don't know if she's still here, though. Okay. So, we're going to bring that up. I have to prepare for the video, so we're going to do this. Then we're going to do this. And then we're going to need that whole interview. Trump interview. Oh, also, Trump said he wants to go to war with Iran. Trump-Iran time interview. Trump said he wants to go to war with Iran. I got the transcript here. There's an important part somewhere down here about Israel. Israel just bombed Iran already? Israel bombed Iran already? Would your opinion change if it was proven 100% he was a gang member? Yes. Yes. I don't want undocumented gang members in my nation. I'm fine with deporting that. My whole argument is that you need due process under the law. MLG, I'm going to ask you a simple question. If I accused you of being an undocumented criminal gang member, would you want the chance to prove in a court of law that I am wrong and you are actually a U.S. citizen and not a criminal? It's such a simple question. It is such a simple question. Yeah, Trump did say he wants to be the Pope. Jack, he did. He did. I saw the clip of that, but he was joking. That was a joke. No, Israel did not bomb Iran today. So there was something in here about going to war with Iran, and I believe it's probably towards the end. How do you search for something? How do you search? How to search for a word in a document on Windows? What is it? Control F. There we go. How about Israel? Here we go. Here we go. This is the T. It's simple when you put it that way, but that's not exactly what happened here. He's not a legal citizen regardless. MLG, I don't know if you've ever studied the Constitution. When I was in school, like college, my major was in history. My minor was in political science. I studied the Constitution. Do you understand that all persons in the United States are entitled to due process under the law, regardless of civilian status? It doesn't matter who you are. If you're accused of a crime in the United States of America, you are entitled to due process under the law. Every migrant being reported is getting due process? No! And he's asked that in this interview we're going to watch. Trump already said himself with his own words, if you stick around, that he's not giving them due process whatsoever. He said this. Alt F4? What does that do? Alt F4. Do you mean hit F and 4 or hit the F4 on the top? No, Chris, don't. What? Don't do it? What the fuck? It's a trick. Alt F4 closes out the active program. That was my moderator. That was my moderator. Okay. So, we're going to cover this as well. When Trump says, he goes, he's asked, you reportedly stopped Israel from attacking Iran's nuclear sites. That's not right. It's not right. No, it's not right. I didn't stop them, but I didn't make it comfortable for them because I think we can make a deal. Without the attack, I hope we can. It's possible we'll have to attack because Iran will not have a nuclear weapon, but I didn't make it comfortable for them, but I didn't say no. Ultimately, I was going to leave that truce to them, but I said I would much prefer a deal than bombs being dropped. Are you worried Netanyahu will drag you into a war? No. Well, let's talk about some of the issues with university. By the way, he may go into a war, but we're not getting dragged in. The U.S. will stay out of it if Israel goes into it. No, I didn't say that. You asked if he'd drag me in, like if I'd go unwillingly. No, I may go in very willingly if we can't get a deal. If we don't make a deal, I'll be leading the pack. You're planning your first major foreign trip for your... Okay, so you're seeing this right here. I may go unwillingly if I can get it. If we don't make a deal, I'll be leading the pack. So yeah, Trump wants to go to war with Iran. I understand that some lines are blurred here with the MS-13 guy, but it's going to end up biting him in the left ass if/when they can confirm that he is MS-13. Almost 8 years younger. Then it'll be used against you when Trump with a line with a politician. Brother, even if he's MS-13, he's still entitled to due process. Are you a fucking idiot? There is no crime that you can commit that means you're not entitled to due process. Are you fucking stupid, dude? Even when people plead guilty, when they go, Your Honor, I plead guilty, they're in a court of law. That's due process. Are you fucking stupid? There is literally no crime you can commit in the United States of America where you don't get due process. How do I have to explain this to you? Are you fucking serious? Holy fuck! Hello, Matcha. I can't believe I have to explain this in 2025. In 2025, you don't know what fucking due process is? Did Hunter get due process? Yes! You fucking idiot! Everybody gets due process! It's in the Constitution! Holy shit. Holy fucking shit. Look up Iranian chemical port explosion. Oh, Jesus. They blame negligence. Iran doesn't even say that it was a attack. Can we find a half intellectual Trump supporter instead of arguing with people who don't even understand the conversation? We run into people who are very civil and we convert them all the time. This guy's too fucking stupid. All right. So, and I want this entire interview. Who is he interviewing?
Murderers, criminals in this country. We have to get them out, and we're doing it. By law. And you'll pick out one man, but even the man that you picked out, he said he wasn't a member of a gang, and then
who is this interview with? Terry Morin. Trump, ABC, Terry Morin interview. I want the fucking interview. Dude, I want the whole fucking interview. Where is it? The 40-minute interview in the Oval Office. Okay, where is it? You understand? I'm just saying y'all going to get Trump 2.0 by picking the wrong side of every other issue. You think the wrong side is saying everybody deserves due process? You are not Americans. Stop fucking pretending to be one. You don't even support your own fucking constitution, you slimy piece of shit. Every single fucking person in the nation deserves due process under the law. It says it in the goddamn Constitution. Your opinion doesn't fucking matter. Facts don't care about your feelings, rat. I want this goddamn interview. Here it is. Yeah, Trump got due process 34 fucking times. Anyway. Okay, let's do this. Wait, where's the full interview? All right, we'll watch a larger clip of it in a second. Trump, Terry Morin, full interview. We'll pray for your indoctrinated minds. I love how he says something about indoctrination and then, never mind, dude. Nobody can help you. God can't even help you. Do they have the full interview? Can anybody tell me where to find the full fucking ABC interview with Trump and Terry Morin? I want the entire half an hour long interview. Exclusive Trump interview. Got it. We got it. We got it. I got it. I got it.
This is an ABC.
All right, we're going to start recording. What is up, ladies, gentlemen, and NBs? Welcome to the latest episode of the Valenti VOD. I'm your perfect and humble leader, Chris Valenti, and we've got a lot to cover today. Trump says he wants to go to war with Iran and that he would lead the pack in that war to prevent them from making nuclear weapons, despite the fact that Trump is the one who pulled us out of the fucking Iran nuclear deal, which was preventing them from making nuclear weapons. And now they're coming up with this new deal that is literally the Iran nuclear deal. So it's just this weird fucking thing where Trump is like, I'm either going to blow the fuck up Iran, or we're gonna bring back the Iran nuclear deal. We're also going to talk about this MS-13 tattoos on Kilmar Abrego Garcia. If you don't know, I have this up for you. You see this on the bottom, the actual tattoos, like a marijuana leaf and a smiley face, all that. These, allegedly, according to the conservatives, I'm no fucking tattoo expert, gang tattoo expert, at least, they're trying to claim that these tattoos represent the letter M, right? So that's why these are so clearly photoshopped in, or not even, it almost looks like clip art. You can, if you can't tell that the M and the S and the 1 and the 3 are photoshopped on there, there's no hope for you at all. There's nothing I can say. If you don't, I'm sorry. I'll fucking do an offering for your soul. But anyway, Trump is one of those people who doesn't think it's photoshopped, and he was asked directly. He said no, that he has MS-13 directly tattooed, clear as day. So we're gonna watch that, and we're also gonna watch this whole interview. So in the meantime, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It costs you nothing, and it helps me immensely. Also, make sure you hit the notification bell because we record these videos live. Say hi to the chat. We're live. If you want to help the channel financially, because this is real independent media, there's a couple of ways you could do it. You could become a patron on Patreon for $5. Sorry, I got a burp. You could become a patron on Patreon for $5. You could become a member on YouTube for $5. You could buy some Valenti Videos merch down below, and you could use a 40% off discount for the Ground News Vantage subscription down below. But regardless, let's dive into the news of the day. I know the fucking sun is really, really bright. Maybe I should do that. I'm sorry the sun is so bright, but it doesn't matter. We're going to be sharing our screen. So, here's the tattoo on Kilmar Abrego Garcia's hand. The marijuana leaf, the smiley, the cross, and the skull. And as I mentioned earlier, they're claiming that this stuff represents it. But Trump is too fucking stupid for that. Here you go.
Hey, look, wait a minute. When we have criminals, murderers, criminals in this country, we have to get them out, and we're doing it. By law. And you'll pick out one man, but even the man that you picked out, he said he wasn't a member of a gang. And then they looked, and on his knuckles, he had MS-13.
There's a dispute
Well,
over that.
Wait a minute. He had MS-13 on his knuckles tattooed.
Oh, he had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But let's move on.
Wait a minute. Hey, Terry.
But let's move on. Dude, Terry is trying to give him so many outs. Terry is trying so hard, being like, Mr. President, you're about to make yourself look like a fucking fool. And fucking dumbass leftist YouTubers like Valenti Videos are going to roll with this, and they're going to make you look so fucking stupid. And guess what? I am.
Terry.
He did not have the letter MS-13.
It says MS-13.
That was photoshopped. So let me
That was photoshopped. Terry, you can't do that. Hey, they're giving
Terry,
you the big break of a lifetime.
Terry, you can't do that. They're giving you the big break of a lifetime, and I chose you because, frankly, I don't even know who you are.
You know, you're doing the interview. I picked you because, frankly, I never heard of you, but that's okay. I picked you, Terry. But you're not being very nice. He had MS-13 tattooed.
We'll agree to disagree. I want to move on.
I don't like when you tell me that I'm wrong. That's not being very nice. I only want people who will cradle my nuts and blow me.
To something else.
Terry, do you want me to show you the picture?
Terry, you have to ride me, Terry. You have to spit on it.
I saw the picture.
And you think it was Photoshop? Well,
here we go.
Don't Photoshop it. Go look at his hand. He had MS-13.
He did have tattoos that can be interpreted that way. I'm not.
See, here's the guy's hand. Here's the real picture of his hand. You see, those tattoos are there. But the MS-13 is superimposed on top to make it look like that so that they could show you what they're claiming it represents. Marijuana, M, smiley, S, the cross is a 1, and apparently the skull is a 3. Even the fucking theory itself doesn't make any fucking sense. And even if the guy is in MS-13, he's still entitled to due process. There's no crime that you can possibly commit where you're not entitled to due process, even if you're caught red-handed with a fucking axe in somebody's skull and you plead guilty. You go, Your Honor, I'm guilty. Guess what I just said? Your Honor, you get due process. Terrorists get fucking due process. Everybody gets due process. All persons within the United States of America are entitled to due process under the law. It says it in the Constitution.
I'm not an expert on them. I want to turn to Ukraine,
No,
sir.
Terry,
I want to get
Another out. I want to turn to Ukraine, sir. Please, please, please.
No. He had MS as clear as you can be, not interpreted. This is why people no longer believe the news, because
when
it's
he was
fake
photographed
news.
in El Salvador, they aren't there. But let's just go on. They aren't there when he's in El Salvador.
They weren't there, but they're there now, right?
No,
but
they're in
now.
your picture.
Terry.
Ukraine, sir.
He's got MS-13 on his knuckles.
All right.
Okay?
All right. We'll take a look at that.
You do such a disservice.
We'll take a look at
Why
that,
don't you
sir.
just say, yes, he does, and wait a minute.
Why don't you just reinforce my fucking lie and my delusions? Now, I have a theory, which is that this is all Stephen Miller's doing. If you don't know, Stephen Miller is the propaganda minister for the Burger Reich. He organized like over 928 Trump rallies. Here's what he looks like. He's the Joseph Goebbels of this regime. He was the one who gave a speech last night, too, he's the propaganda minister. He's been with Trump since day one. I believe that Goebbels knows, he's aware that, like, Trump is stupid enough to actually think that the MS-13 is real and is telling him, like, here, sir, here's a picture of the guy's hand. And I actually think Trump believes in this shit, but I think that it's because of Goebbels. Anyway, so we've got that, and then another thing that I really want to cover for you is Trump's Time magazine interview. This is a transcript of the interview. Hopefully the full interview on video will come out soon, but it's a very long interview, and this is the most important part of it. So, the bold part is the interviewer, and the regular part is Trump. Clear sights. That's not right. It's not right. No, it's not right. I didn't stop them, but I didn't make it comfortable for them because I think we can make a deal without the attack. I hope we can. It's possible we'll have to attack because Iran will not have a nuclear weapon, but I didn't make it comfortable for them, but I didn't say no. Ultimately, I was going to leave that choice to them, but I said I would much prefer a deal than bombs being dropped. Are you worried Netanyahu will drag you into a war? No. Let's talk about some of the issues with universities. By the way, he may go into a war, but we're not getting dragged in. The U.S. will stay out of it if Israel goes into it? No, I didn't say that. You asked if he'd drag me in, like I'd go in unwillingly. No, I may go in very willingly if we can't get a deal. If we don't make a deal, I'll be leading the pack. Now note, I'll be leading the pack is in reference to war with Iran. Specifically, Luigi! She hears a human baby in the hallway. She doesn't like human babies. We're talking about war with Iran and specifically striking their nuclear sites, okay? And this is all because Trump withdrew the Iran nuclear deal, which allowed Iran to have specific levels of enriched uranium in order to start, researching nuclear power, but not enough enriched uranium to make like a nuclear weapon. And there was, regulatory practices. There was a coalition of nations that would go in and check, and they kept on reporting and saying, yeah, no, Iran is doing exactly what they're saying. They're only making nuclear power. They're not making nuclear weapons. And then Trump pulled us out of that deal immediately, not because it was a bad deal, but because the Democrats made the deal. And if the Democrats made the deal, then he can't be a part of it. And this is because Trump is inherently a sycophantic child. So that's what we've got with Trump wants to go to war with Iran. Trump is so stupid that he thinks the photoshopped MS-13 is real. And we have that entire 40-minute interview, and we're going to watch it. It's going to be long. Grab yourself a snack. Grab yourself a water. Grab yourself a coffee, and get ready. It's going to be a 40-minute long interview. It's not going to be easy because Trump is much like an old grandpa. His brain is starting to go. Trump is starting to feel the beginning of early onset dementia. He is starting to go. He's rambling a lot. He doesn't know what he's saying. He doesn't know what he's doing. And this is what we're starting to experience here. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
News special from inside the White House.
When you stepped back in the Oval Office after you were reelected,
Right.
what went through your mind?
I'm gonna go crank the AC, fill up my coffee,
Yes,
take a fat
there's
bog
a
rip.
feeling of triumph.
President Donald J. Trump on his 100th day in office. From the #1 issue, the economy.
People are worried, even some people who voted for you saying, I didn't sign up for this. So how do you answer those concerns?
Well, they did sign up for it, actually.
To immigration.
It is an undeniable fact that illegal crossings at the southern border have plummeted, a staggering decline. But there are questions about your methods.
To Elon Musk.
Did DOJ go too far, too fast, too reckless?
And the concerns from many Americans about the impact of tariffs.
Everything's going to be just fine.
President Trump, the first 100 days. The interview in the Oval Office with ABC News anchor and senior national correspondent Terry Moran.
Earlier today, I sat down with President Trump in the Oval Office for an exclusive interview on his 100th day of his second term. It was a great opportunity to ask him some wide-ranging questions about the issues that most concern so many Americans. We talked about the economy and his tariffs.
I didn't fill up
we
my
talked
coffee,
about
but I did
immigration
take a
and those deportations. And you can see here the White House has put up some posters that they say show some of the violent criminals that have so far
gonna
been
get Trump elected
deported.
third
We'll
term.
talk about a
You
lot
guys
more
support
as
third
well.
term, bro.
President's answers were provocative, at times combative, and always he was strong in his convictions about his policies. But before we get to
How's
the
the volume,
interview,
by the way,
we
guys?
begin
How's the
tonight
volume? I'll crank
with
me up a little
look
bit.
inside the Oval Office that Donald Trump has transformed.
Hello, everybody. How are you? This is the Oval Office. This is the Resolute desk, which is really something
know.
very spectacular. There's
Dumbass.
nothing quite like it.
This is where
And
Bill Clinton got a
They give you a
blowy.
choice of about 7 different desks, but this is the one I chose.
Wait!
Ronald Reagan had it. FDR had it. A few people had it, but I found it to be the most beautiful.
It is amazing.
This is an amazing space, and amazing.
Sorry about
maybe
Luigi, guys.
architecturally
She'll stop
wonderful,
barking once
but,
that baby's done.
amazing for what it represents. It represents.
You're a little quiet. I'll turn it
the
up.
U.S. and if properly used,
There we go.
a lot of good things can happen.
And I see Ronald Reagan over there.
Yeah, Ronald Reagan.
Right to your left.
Being in the Oval Office is very important. See Ronald Reagan here, and put him a little bit larger. It sort of seemed to fit very nicely. You have Democrats a little bit. You have
Franklin Roosevelt.
Franklin Roosevelt. So you look at that picture, and
That's the
people
best
say,
president
well,
of all
what you
time."
doing up there? But look, he was a serious president, whether we like it or not. He was a 4-termer, and
Oh, Jesus Christ.
went through a war. You have Lincoln, you have
Honest
Washington,
Abe.
but you look over here, that's Monroe, the Monroe Doctrine.
Why is he up there?
I think the Monroe Doctrine was pretty important. That was his claim to fame.
Brother
Over
has
here, you
no
have
idea
the
what the
original
Monroe
of Abraham
Doctrine is.
Lincoln and George Washington, and of course you have the Declaration of Independence.
What does it mean to you?
Well, it means exactly what it says. It's a declaration. It's a declaration of unity and love and respect, and it means a lot. And it's something very special to our country.
Lincoln's portrait up there.
I don't think
I'm
he
not
knows
familiar
what the
with that
Declaration
one.
of Independence is.
But I think when I'm looking at that famous line in the second inaugural, with malice toward none, with
Right,
charity toward
right.
all. Is that,
Well, he was a great president. He went through a lot.
and the Oval Office is always changing between presidents, and that
changes,
says
yeah,
something.
it does.
What does this say about how you feel
It's
about the
gilded
country
in
and the-
gold.
Well, think
I
it
love
says
gold.
the country. I mean, I'm putting pictures of presidents up that have never been up, pictures that weren't largely used, and in many cases, great men, in this case men, but great men of great achievement.
And your every detail, it seems.
Yeah.
This is your office.
I'm a very detailed person. I'm a very clean person. I like cleanliness. I like to see this space be treated properly. I've
believe
added
that.
a
I
lot
think
to
he
the
has,
space
like,
in terms
OCD.
of beautification, in terms
Everything's
of
gold.
modernization. That's
Gilded.
a
Gallery of Presidents.
it really
love
is, it really
gilded.
is. So, and it's an honor to have you people with us.
Mr. President, thank you for doing this.
Thank you very much.
Here in the Oval Office, it's special. 100 days into your second term. So what's the one thing, just one thing, that you think is the most significant thing you've done so far in these 100 days?
Well, I think maybe the border is the most significant because our country was really going bad. They were allowing people to come in from prisons, as you know, and you've heard me say it, but you've heard a lot of people say it. Prisons, mental institutions, gang members, murderers.
No proof of this,
Many
by the way.
murders, 11,888, they think. Some murdered more than one person. So you had murderers coming in, you had everybody coming in, and not just South America, from all over the world. They were emptying their prisons into our country. And now it's totally closed down. And you've seen just yesterday, they announced 99.9%. Nobody thought that could happen. And it happened quickly, very quickly. And I think that's very significant. But we're doing other things.
they're
that are very significant.
99.9%?
The results will take a little bit longer.
Brother is claiming 3 people crossed the border illegally.
Many years of trading abuse. We've been abused by other countries for years and years. They laughed at us. They thought we were stupid people, and we're fixing it. And I think that's going to be very, very important. But I
You
would-
have a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah, I would really say that the border is so important. You know, just
And
can't
we'll get there.
let that
Immigration,
happen.
huge.
Yeah.
And we're going to get there. But I want to start
Sure.
with the economy, the number one issue for so
Because
many
everything's
people.
burning!
Everybody. It's one of the main reasons that you're back in this office. And now we have this trade war with China that Moody's and other analysts say is going to cost American families thousands of more dollars per year. And there is a lot of concern out there. People are worried. Even some people who voted for you saying, I didn't sign up for this. So
Well,
how do you answer
actually,
those
you
concerns?
did.
Well, they did sign up for it, actually.
There-
And this is what I campaigned on. I said that we
No. Donnie! You can't do that, Donnie!
Of concern out there. People are worried. Even some people who voted for you saying, I didn't sign up for this. So how do you answer those concerns?
Well, they did sign up for it, actually, and this is what I campaigned on. I said that we've been abused by other countries at levels that nobody's ever seen before.
Pre-watch, Andy? No, I pre-watched that clip I showed you on TikTok. I haven't seen any of this.
We were losing
Don't
$3
you
to
remember me struggling to
$5
find
billion
it?
dollars a day on trade. We were losing $1.5 trillion to $2 trillion a year. Not sustainable. They were taking advantage of us like they've never. I could have left it that way, and at some point there would have been an implosion like nobody's ever seen. But I said, no, we have to fix it. I've wanted to do this for many years. You know, I had the best economy during my first term. We had a tremendous economy, tremendous success, and we did tremendous numbers of tariffs on. We took in a lot of money from tariffs, China in particular, hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs. We had no inflation, as you know. We had an incredible
inflation,
economy.
lying
Given credit for
bastard.
a great economy. But I said, we have to fix this. Otherwise, it's just not self-sustaining.
Well, one of the things you ran on was you'd said you'd bring prices down on day one,
And you did.
that
And
it
I
would
have.
happen fast, and that it would happen fast.
I have.
No, you haven't.
Most economists will tell you that tariffs will raise prices. So don't your tariffs cut against that promise you made to bring prices down?
No, because I had massive tariffs on China, if you remember, in my first term, and we had essentially no inflation, like around 1%.
You did not have massive
inflation,
tariffs on
which
China.
is like a perfect number. And then when Biden took over, it went through the roof. It went to probably the worst inflation we've ever had. I mean, we had an inflation nightmare. Now, if you look at what's happening now, we're only there for 100 days, as you say, and in 100 days, we took over. We had bad inflation for 4 years, for 2 years of, especially 2 years of his administration. I would say record-setting like we've never seen. They say 48 years, the worst in 48 years. I say it was much worse than that. Right. So now if you look at what's happened, energy is down. Gasoline hit $1.98 in a few states during the last couple of days. It was $3.50 and $4 and $4.50. But gasoline is way down. When I took over, you remember the big thing with
Lie.
Eggs. They hit me the first week. Eggs, eggs, eggs. Like it was my fault. I said, I didn't cause this problem. This problem was caused by Biden. What's the problem with eggs? And they said, they've doubled. And well, eggs are down 87% since I got involved.
A lot of that is
and
bird
by the way,
flu.
and
That's
there
a
were plenty
lie.
of eggs.
The only reason, he's about to say, the only reason why the price of eggs has gone down is because of bird flu. And on top of that, the Trump regime imported something like 20 million eggs from Turkey.
For Easter, which we just went through, there were plenty of eggs for Easter. They were saying you won't have enough eggs for Easter. My secretary did a fantastic job on eggs. Groceries are down. Everything's down.
Okay.
Interest rates are the same. Interest rates should be down. But we have a Federal Reserve that wants to be stubborn. They want to be cute.
We'll get to that. You said something a couple of weeks ago that struck me. You said concerning the tariffs, which economists say are going to raise prices, you said, quote, hang tough. Yeah. It won't be easy. You said that to the American people. Is that what Americans should expect, some hard times?
I've said that during my campaign. Look, we won a campaign.
No, you didn't. You didn't say you were going to bring about the fucking stock market having a worse April than 1932 during the fucking Great Depression. You didn't fucking say there was going to be temporary pain and fuck you. You didn't say shit about fucking tariffs. Fuck you.
By a lot. We won all 7 swing states. We won the popular vote by a lot. You know, we had a tremendous campaign. I said all these things during my campaign. I said, you're going to have a transition period. We've been ripped off by every country all over the world. They're laughing at us. They thought we were stupid people, and we were. And I said, that's not going to happen. We're not going to let that happen.
Hard times are ahead?
I don't think so. I think great times are ahead. Look, since I came in, gasoline is down, groceries are down, egg prices are down, many things are down, just about everything. You know, you don't have the drop in fuel and energy and oil like we did. I took it from maybe $3.20, maybe more than that, down into a much lower number. When you have that kind of a drop, you're not going to have inflation.
Not now, but it's the tariffs, right? We still have 145% tariffs on China. Your Treasury Secretary said we basically have an embargo on China.
Look, you're trying to say something's going to happen, Terry.
No, okay, well,
nothing's going to happen.
You know business.
Terry,
I want to ask you.
I do know business.
Yes,
and
so 145% tariffs on China, and that is
that's good.
basically
that's
an
good.
embargo.
They deserve it.
It'll raise prices on everything from electronics to clothing to building houses.
You don't know that. You don't know whether or not China's going to eat it.
That's mathematics.
China probably will eat those tariffs, but at 145, they basically can't do much business with the United States. And they were making from us $1 trillion a year. They were ripping us off like nobody's ever ripped us off. And by the way, we have other countries that were just as bad. If you look at the European Union, it was terrible what they've done to us. Every country, almost every country in the world was ripping us off. They're not doing that anymore.
I want you to think about the boom that this country has had in small businesses, mom and pop Etsy stores, small businesses that became
they
big businesses.
Shiny shit, Chinese goods.
What
the
they've
boom
done
was inflationary boom.
What they've
the
done is
people were
import
wiped
Chinese
out
goods.
with inflation. I
Yes.
mean, you read the news, you do the business
now
stuff, I
face,
assume.
Now, a lot of them built those businesses on the trading model.
Yeah, and they're going to make
you.
more money
They
now.
sourced their products overseas, and now they're looking at an extinction
I've
event.
been here.
It's disaster for them.
I've been here for 3 months.
I like this
I've
interviewer.
taken a trade deficit down to a number that's very, very starting to get really good. I just got here. We had a country that it was not sustainable. What Biden did to this country between the open borders, where criminals
Everything
poured
that's
into our
wrong is
country,
because of
between
Biden.
Every country in the world ripping us off on trade.
Yo, listen, guys, real quick. Like, I need you to understand something. At this point, you don't even need to be fucking bullying or like making fun of these Trump supporters. At this point, you can pity them. To support Trump at this point is so fucking embarrassing. This is so embarrassing, dude. He blames everything on everyone else. He says that nothing he's done is ever wrong. It's fucking pitiful.
It was not sustainable.
So your message to those small businesses who are saying, we can't live a month, 2 months with these tariffs. Apple got a big deal. Is there something for them?
No, not only Apple. We've got $7 to $8 trillion being invested in our country in 2 months. Biden didn't have that over a year. I mean, if you look at Biden, nobody was really investing in.
I moved on to point and laugh. That's what I mean. You can just point and laugh at these people, dude. Don't debate with them. Like, You see that I turn a lot of MAGA supporters. I do it live. I convert a lot of MAGA people back to normal. But there's about 20 to 30% of the nation who is quite literally like in a cult state. There's literally nothing this man could do that'll make them stop believing him. And, you know, you can see some of them in the chat. They're here. But there's absolutely nothing Donald Trump can do that'll make them stop supporting him. They are in a cult.
In this country, everybody was ripping off our country. Apple's putting up $500 billion, but that's only one of many companies. Companies are flooding into our country right now.
So your answer to the concern about the tariffs is everything's going to be hunky-dory?
Everything's going to be just fine. It wouldn't have been if I didn't do this. I had a choice. I could leave it, have a nice...
So your answer to the tariffs is everything's going to be hunky-dory. And Trump goes, everything's going to be just fine. And these fucking stupid dipshits go, yes, Mr. President, everything is gonna be fine. Yes, yes. Fucking, oh my God.
Easy time, but I think ultimately you would have had an implosion. Our country had inflation that was worse than they've ever had it before. You don't mention that. Why don't you mention that? We had the worst inflation probably in the history of our country. People say 48 years. Probably in the history of our country, we had the worst inflation. And people were
Trump could do stuff and I wouldn't support it. I don't believe you.
Over the inflation. You know that. Now the grocery prices are coming down. The energy prices are coming down. Gasoline's coming down. It's all heading in the right direction.
Okay, let's move on to immigration.
Coming up.
It is an undeniable fact that illegal crossings at the southern border have plummeted, a staggering decline. But there are questions about your methods.
Ooh.
President Trump, the first 100 days.
You guys want a chance to get a coffee or something? Because I kind of do.
Let's move on to immigration. And as you said, it is an undeniable fact that illegal crossings at the southern border have plummeted, a staggering decline. But there are questions about your methods. And so I want to ask
about my message?
Methods. About your methods. How you're accomplishing
they seem to
this.
work.
Do you
you're
acknowledge
not giving him due process.
that under our law, every single person who gets deported
Here we go.
gets a hearing first to make their case?
Well, are we talking about people that are citizens of our country or not?
No, you're not
over.
deporting citizens at this point.
fascist.
Let me ask you, did they get hearings when Biden allowed 21 million, because I think the number's 20 million people to flow into our country? You had 21 million people that came into our country through a stupid open border, and they were prisoners, and they were people that you don't want in many cases in our country, right? They came from all over the world. They came from the Congo. They came from South. They came from all over the world. We're talking about some of the roughest countries in the world they had here, including terrorists, by the way. Now,
but
did we give them a hearing when they came in?
Well, the law requires that every single person who is going to be deported gets a hearing first.
Well,
do you acknowledge that?
I'll have to ask the lawyers.
It's in the
about that. All I can
Constitution,
say
dude.
is this:
It's in the fucking
if
Constitution.
You're going to have 21 million people, and
He's
we
gonna
have
ask
to
his
get a lot
lawyers?
of them out because they're criminals. We're going to have to act fast. We can't. Do you think we can give 21 million trials? Let's say each trial takes 2 weeks.
God.
Is that what you want us to
The
do?
law
Give
is the
21
law,
million?
sir. The law is the law, and you're
the law
sworn
doesn't
to
say anything
uphold it.
about trials.
No,
Yes,
not
it
trials,
does.
hearings. I said
These
hearings.
people came in, they're not citizens. They came in illegally. They came into our country
Right.
illegally.
And
We
there's-
have to get them out.
There's a legal process for that.
I can't, sure, and we follow the legal process. I can't.
No, you don't.
I can't have a trial, a major
I'm
trial
not
for
saying
every
major.
person that
Dude,
came
it's
in
just due
illegally.
process.
We
It's a
have
court hearing.
thousands of murderers that came in. They're going to murder people. They already have murdered people in our country.
Right, so
we have to get them out,
They're
and we have to
bad
get them
guys,
out fast.
Really bad guys. But in our country, even bad guys get due process, right?
If people come into our country illegally, there's a different standard. These are illegal.
Not
they came
true.
in illegally.
But they get due process.
Well, they get a process where we have to get them out.
But they get due process, and he goes, well, they get a process. I'm playing that again. You can no longer deny that this man is a fascist.
They came in illegally.
But they get due process.
Well, they get a process where
Oh
we
my
have to
God.
get them out. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the Venezuelans.
They get whatever my lawyers say.
Right. All right, let's
What?
talk about the Venezuelans. You deported more than 200 Venezuelans to that prison in El Salvador. You say they're violent, they're gang members, they're terrorists. Many of them don't have a criminal record at all.
Well,
but I want to.
I'm not so sure about that. If you take a look,
I want to read you something.
Excuse me. When you look at those people, they were violent people. They were violent people.
But many of them don't have a criminal record
Go
at this
ahead.
point.
I don't know.
want
That's
to read
what you
something.
say.
Oh my God.
Based
Go
on
ahead.
their lawyer, what their lawyers
Go
have
ahead.
said. Okay.
Go ahead.
Joe Rogan said this. Joe Rogan, one of the leading podcasters, Trump supporter, about the deportation of Venezuelans. He said, quote, rounding up gang members and shipping them to El Salvador with no due process, he said it was dangerous, and added, quote, we got to be careful that we don't become monsters while we're fighting monsters. Is Joe Rogan right?
Oh, I agree with that 100%. Yeah, we want to be careful, and we are careful.
You're not.
We're doing something that has to be done. We have a country that's very sick. Joe Biden, and it's not him because I don't even think he knew what the hell was happening, but the people around him are vicious people, and what they've done to the country is unbelievable. They've allowed 21 million people to pour into our country. Many of these people are criminals. They've allowed you mentioned Venezuela, the jails of Venezuela to be emptied into the United States. Do you know Venezuela crime is way down? Way, way down. You know why? Because their criminals are now living happily in the United States
Zero
of
evidence of
America,
this.
and we're getting them out. And I was elected to get them out, and we're getting them
Under
out.
the law. It
And
sounds
we're
like-
getting them out fast, and we're getting them out legally. Now, in some cases, we have judges. In some cases, they're radical left judges. What happened the other day where a judge was protecting a criminal was horrible. And I think she's
judge
got
was
big
a
problems,
fucking
frankly.
hero.
And there are a couple of them like that.
I want to talk about one
Wait a
man.
minute.
Yep.
We have to be treated fairly by judges. And we're not being treated fairly by all judges.
Oh, that's a subject. So you're saying that you don't like some of the rulings, some of the court orders?
I think the rulings will be overturned, yeah.
Well, let me ask you about one man and one court order. Kilmar Abrego Garcia. He's the Salvadoran man who crossed into this country illegally, but who is under a protective order that he not be sent back to El Salvador. Your government sent him back
We're
to
not
El
libs,
Salvador.
Banks.
and
We're
acknowledged
democratic
in court
socialists.
That was a mistake. And now the Supreme Court has upheld an order that you must return him facilitate his return to the United States. What are you doing to comply?
Well, the lawyer that said it was a mistake was here a long time, was not appointed by us, should not have said that, And just so
Said it
you
in court.
understand,
Said
the
it in
person
court.
that you're talking about, you know, you're making this person sound, this is a MS-13 gang member, a tough cookie, been in lots of skirmishes, beat the hell out of his wife.
None of this has been proven in a court of law. This is the whole point.
And the wife was petrified to even talk about him, okay? This is not an innocent, wonderful gentleman from
I'm
Maryland.
not saying he's a good guy. It's about the rule of law. The order from the Supreme Court
He
stands,
came
sir.
into our country illegally.
You could get him back. There's a phone on this desk.
I could.
You could pick it up, and
I
with all
could.
the power of the presidency, you could call up the president of El
Wait,
Salvador and
now
say,
he's saying he could. Trump said that it's impossible. Even Nayib Bukele said it's impossible. They said it's impossible to bring him back. And now, dude, oh my God, these fucking and Trump. I gotta lower the blinds because we're losing frame rates.
they send him back right now.
And if he were the gentleman that you say he is, I would do that.
But the court has
he's
ordered
not.
you to facilitate that. his
I'm not
release.
the one making this decision. We have
You're
lawyers
the
that don't
president.
want to do this.
But the buck stops.
Sorry, guys. Lost frame rates because it got too hot in here, I think.
No. I follow the law. You want me to follow the law? If I were the president that just wanted to do anything, I'd probably keep him right where he
Supreme
is.
Court says what the law is.
Listen, I was elected to take care of a problem. It was a unforced error that was made by a very incompetent man, a man that turned out to be incompetent, that you always said was wonderful, a great genius, right? And now you find out, all of the media now, they're saying what a mistake they made. A man who was grossly incompetent allowed us to have open borders where millions
good on
of people
frames,
flowed
chat?
in. I campaigned on that issue.
Good on frames?
I wouldn't say it was my number one issue, but it was pretty close.
Right up there.
I campaigned on that issue. I've done an amazing job. I have closed borders. He said you couldn't do it. You wouldn't be able to do it. It would never happen. Well, it happened, and it happened very quickly. Wait a minute. When we have criminals, murderers, criminals in this country, We have to get him out, and we're doing it.
By law.
And you'll pick out one man, but even the man that you picked out, he said he wasn't a member of a gang. And then they looked, and on his knuckles, he had MS-13.
There's a dispute
Well,
over
wait a minute. He had MS-13 on his knuckles tattooed.
Oh, he had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But let's move on.
Wait a minute. Hey, Terry.
He did not have the letter MS-13.
It says MS-13.
Yeah, that was Photoshop.
Nope.
So let me...
That was Photoshop, Terry. You can't do that. Hey, they're giving you the big break of a lifetime. You know, you're doing the interview. I picked you because, frankly, I never heard of you, but that's okay. I picked you, Terry, but you're not being very nice. He had MS-13 tattooed.
We'll agree to disagree. I want to move on to something else.
Terry, do you want me to show you the picture?
Idiot.
I saw the picture.
And you
we'll
think it
agree
was
to disagree.
Photoshopped? Well,
Here we go.
Don't Photoshop it. Go look at his hand. He had MS-13.
He did have tattoos that can be interpreted that way. I'm not an expert on them. I want to turn to Ukraine, sir.
Terry,
I want to get to Ukraine.
No. He had MS as clear as you can be, not interpreted. This is why people no longer believe the news, because
when
it's
he was
fake
photographed
news.
in El Salvador, they aren't there. But let's just go on. They aren't there when he's in El Salvador.
They weren't there, but they're there now, right?
No,
but they're
in
now.
your picture.
Terry.
Ukraine, sir.
He's got MS-13 on his knuckles.
All right.
Okay?
We'll take a look at that.
It's you do
We'll
such
take a
a
look.
All right,
disservice.
Grandpa, whatever
We'll
you
take a look
say.
at
Why
that,
don't you
sir.
just say, yes, he does, and, go on to something else.
It's contested. Ukraine.
Coming up, the Russia-Ukraine war.
That is so fucking like reminiscent. If anybody here has like a grandpa who's like into like QAnon or some shit, is like, yeah, no, Joe Biden, yeah, you know, Joe Biden, he actually died in 2017, and it's James Woods playing the role of Joe Biden. And you're like, Grandpa, that's just not true. It is. Yes, why can't you just say that it is? Why can't you just say that it is? Dude, that's the craziest shit ever.
Don't
You
forget,
think he wants
this
peace?
is
You think Vladimir Putin wants peace?
And that historic
You making fun of the
meeting.
elderly? Fuck yeah, I am.
President Trump, the first 100 days, continues.
I want to turn, I was just in Rome, and to that moving photograph of you and President Zelensky sitting in St. Peter's Basilica talking peace. It went around the world.
Sure.
Take us into that moment.
Well, look, the Ukraine is a very serious, very tough situation. And this is Biden's war. This is not my war, but I want to see if I can solve it, because probably close to 5,000 young soldiers a week are being killed, Russian and Ukrainian. We also spend a tremendous amount of money in Ukraine, and Europe should be spending much more than us. They're not. They're spending much less. It's been badly handled by the Biden administration. It's been badly handled all the way around, the way around.
That moment.
The moment was a moment of solace, in a sense, because tremendous numbers of people are dying. A lot of his people are dying. They're being killed. And I feel very badly about it. That's a war that would have never happened if I were president. And it didn't happen for 4 years. It was never even a thought of it happening.
It does feel like something's happening after that meeting with Zelensky in St. Peter's.
Yeah,
You
Russia's
posted
attacking
this
again.
on social media. There was no reason for Putin to be shooting missiles into civilian areas and cities and towns over the last few days. It makes me think that maybe...
Well, that was part of my post, but you're right. That was a part of a post.
And
reading.
it makes me think that maybe he doesn't want to stop the war. He's just tapping me along.
Yeah, that's possible. Sure.
He might be...
Oh,
He could be tapping me along a little bit. I would say that he would like to stop the war. I think
believe
that if it weren't for me, I think he'd want to take over the whole country personally.
Oh, if it weren't for you? You're an
So,
idiot.
When I left, there wasn't even a chance that this would happen. When Biden got involved, I won't say whether or not he handled it properly, but obviously it wasn't good because the war started. Putin went in, the war started. I believe that Putin wanted to get all of Ukraine once he went in. And I think part of the reason he went in, he saw what happened in Afghanistan, how incompetently Milley and all these guys handled that. It was one of the greatest embarrassments of our lifetimes, but maybe in the history of our country. Okay. So Putin went in. I think Putin wanted all of Ukraine.
Right.
Yeah,
I
he
think
wants
if
all
I
of
didn't
Ukraine.
win the election, he would have gotten all of Ukraine. I think he would have taken all of Ukraine. I think his first choice, never with me, he would have never gone in. With this group of losers, he went in, he saw what happened in Afghanistan. He said, wow, this is my chance. Because it was always the apple of his eye. I talked to him. Ukraine was the apple of his eye. I think he wanted the whole country.
You've said for
And
months
because
that-
of me, I do believe that
Yeah.
he's willing to stop the fighting. Don't
You
forget,
think he wants
this
peace?
is a.
You think Vladimir Putin wants peace?
I think he does. Yes.
You're
I
an
think he does.
idiot, Donald.
I think
Even
because
with the
of me,
raining missiles
I
on.
think he really his dream was to take over the whole country. I think because of me, he's not going to do that.
Do you trust
I
him?
think-
Do you trust him?
I don't trust you. I don't trust.
What
a lot
the
of people. I
fuck?
don't trust you. Look at you. You come in all shooting for bear. You're so happy to do the interview.
I am
And
happy.
then you start hitting me with fake questions. You start telling me that a guy whose hand is covered
All right,
with a
we're back to
tattoo doesn't have the tattoo. You know.
all right.
I mean, you're being dishonest.
No, I'm not.
Let
Oh
me
my
tell
God,
you,
gets
do I trust?
fucked.
I don't trust a lot of people.
You stupid
But
old
I do
fucking
think
idiot.
this. I think that let's say he respects me, and I believe because of me, he's not going to take over the whole. But his decision, his choice would be to take over all of Ukraine.
Okay.
It's a war that never should have happened. It did happen because of incompetent people.
Last question on this.
But it never should have happened.
If there's no peace deal, will the U.S. cut off military aid to Ukraine?
I don't want to tell you that. I'm not going to tell you whether or not I would or
sounds-
not. I want to leave that as a big fat secret because I don't want to ruin a negotiation. But
I'd be worried
I
if
will
I were
tell you, I
Ukrainian.
was not happy when I saw Putin shooting missiles into
Yeah, and you ain't gonna do
a
shit
few
about it,
towns and
tubby
cities.
tits.
And that was not something that I liked seeing, and I thought it was inappropriate. But I think the whole war is inappropriate.
Okay.
Again, it's a war that shouldn't have happened. This is a war that if the election weren't rigged, and it was totally rigged, the 2020 election, if it weren't
Everybody's
rigged,
still
you
on
wouldn't
this.
have that. You wouldn't have had the embarrassment of Afghanistan.
Got it.
You wouldn't have October 7th with Israel.
The world
You
would
wouldn't
have been
any of the
perfect.
problems that you
Thank
have
you.
right now.
I wanna ask one
and
question.
you wouldn't have had inflation either.
All right. I want to ask one question about Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. There's a lot
here
of
we go.
turmoil at the Pentagon right now. There's the signal chat with his wife on it where he's discussing that attack in Yemen. There's another signal chat discussing the attack on Yemen. There's a reporter accidentally involved. You said the other day that you had a talk with the secretary. Did you take him to the woodshed?
I had a talk with him, and whatever I said, I probably wouldn't be inclined to tell you. But we had a good talk. He's a talented guy. He's young, he's smart, highly educated, and I think he's going to be a very good hopefully a great defense secretary, but he'll be a very good defense secretary.
You have
maybe
100% confidence
nothing,
in
no
Hegseth.
punishment.
100% confidence
Great.
in anything. Okay, anything. Do I have 100%? It's a stupid question. Look,
It's a pretty important
I
position.
have no. You don't have 100%. Only a liar would say I have 100% confidence. I don't have 100% confidence that we're going to finish this interview.
We will.
Let's go.
Coming
Ho, ho,
up,
ho.
President Trump on Elon Musk and Doge.
Did Doge go too far, too fast, too recklessly?
Wow.
President Trump. The
This is a good
first
interview.
100 days
This is a really good
continues.
Elon Musk and Doge. Everyone knows that there's wasteful government spending. It's really important. But the cuts have had some serious consequences. There have been cuts to foreign aid programs that save lives and keep people alive overseas.
23 million
There's been
people
research
estimated to
at the
die
National
because of these
Institutes of
cuts.
Health on cancer, on Alzheimer's, that has had to be stopped. And the question I think people have is, did Doge go too far, too fast, too recklessly?
No, I think Doge has saved $150 billion. We saved, that's a lot of money. There's also a lot of things right now under investigation, which is going to increase that amount by a lot. That's a tremendous amount of money. There were some things where, when I heard about them, I put them back, as you know. There are things that I'm considering right now putting back, but overall, we've saved hundreds of billions of dollars.
Well, the original promise was $2 trillion, went to $1 trillion, now it's $150
Well, I don't
billion
know.
and heading
You don't know
south.
what it's going to be because we have things that are at a very high level that are being looked at right now. We also found tremendous waste, fraud, and abuse, as you know.
He
We
loves
found
that
a lot of
fucking word.
fraud. There was a lot of
Those
fraud.
words.
Fraudulent things were taking place. And we ended that, and those people are going to be suffering because of it.
A legal note, fraud is a crime. There have been no referrals to the Justice Department on any of
Well, you
these.
don't know.
Fuck yeah, Terry. That's what I always say. Why hasn't a single goddamn person been charged with fraud if you're claiming to be finding waste, fraud, and abuse? Why hasn't a single goddamn person been charged with fraud?
Do you? How do you know that?
Whoa. Look at the way Trump responded. That's so hilarious.
On any of
Well, you
these.
don't know that, do you? How do you know that?
Have there been
How do you
referrals
know
to
that?
the? Are there criminal
How
referrals?
would you know that there were no referrals? I think there were referrals.
They generally are. There's been no investigation from the
How do
Justice
you know
Department.
that?
I'm asking you, sir.
No, you're not asking me. You made a statement. You're not
Now I'm
asking
asking you.
That was a statement that you made. There have
Now I'm
been.
asking you.
Have there been? Yes, there have.
So there have been referrals for fraud from the
Of
work
course
of
there have been. Take a
Not
look at
true.
some of these
All
things
right,
that
all
took
right,
place.
all right.
Billions of dollars were given to people for no reason whatsoever. Of course there have
I want to
been.
bring up what is truly one of, to a lot of people, one of the biggest achievements of your first term. That is Operation Warp Speed. You got that COVID vaccine up and
right.
going and distributed, and a lot of people took it, and a lot of people feel their lives have been saved by it. Now we have this
Hey, Trump supporters,
measles
watch this.
outbreak, biggest in a decade in Texas, and it's because people aren't getting their children vaccinated. Do you recommend to parents that they get their children vaccinated for measles?
Well, I recommend the governors to make the decisions. You have a very talented governor of Texas, and he's making decisions, and those decisions are going to be made rapidly. This is a very much different thing than COVID in terms of rapidity and speed and other things. Measles have been with us a long time, and I'm not saying good, bad, or indifferent. I'm just saying that the governors are making the decision. It's a federalist
Sir,
decision.
the president is our leader in so many ways, and your voice counts so much, and you can't tell moms and dads, yeah, it's a good thing to get a measles
Do
vaccine.
I recommend it?
Yes.
Yes, I do. I
Okay.
recommend it.
Hear that,
Do I
MAGA?
mandate it? No.
No, I didn't
But I
ask.
do recommend it, yes.
Good. Do you think
And I have recommended it.
Do you think the Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who has a history of, at the very least, vaccine skepticism, do you think Kennedy recommends the measles
He
vaccine?
did.
No, he didn't.
He recommended
No, he
it.
doesn't. No, he doesn't. That's a
Yeah,
lie.
he did. He
You
recommended
satisfied
it.
with his?
Yeah, I mean, he
response on this?
recommended that they go out and get the vaccine.
That's not true.
Still ahead.
I'm asking the justification for going after people you don't like.
President Trump, the first 100 days, continues.
I want to talk a little bit about presidential power, the powers that you have in the presidency temporarily that the American people have given you, right? You've revoked a lot of people's security clearances. You've revoked people's security details who are still threatened, with death threats. You've gone after law firms because they've employed people you don't like, or
This is true.
they have represented people
Well,
you
they
don't
obviously
like.
agreed because they paid me a lot of money.
Well, the reason they agreed is because you were threatening to destroy their business with your executive order that said you can't represent clients for the federal
These are
government. That's
these
their
are
bread and
big
butter.
boys. These are the biggest, most powerful lawyers. These are not people
You got a lot of
that are
leverage as
easily
president.
intimidated.
As president, you got all the cards.
I mean, they paid hundreds of millions of dollars because they felt, I guess, they probably felt they did something wrong.
It was for
Oh, my
survival,
God.
sir.
No, it isn't.
You're
No,
crushing their business.
These firms are very powerful firms, and there's 15 of them. And these are firms that probably, look, you have to ask them. In fact, this is a separate story. You have to ask them, why did you all pay Trump hundreds of millions of dollars in services, etc.? Why did you do that? I don't know.
You don't think the fact
we have a
that-
clause in the thing that while we admit no wrongdoing, but it's like one of those things. And now I'm friendly with those firms, but it's these are the most powerful firms in the world, and they just signed whatever I put in front of them. I've never seen anything like it. I'm actually surprised myself in a certain way, but they obviously felt they probably did something wrong. I guess that's why they signed.
Brother, you told them that they can't represent
I
federal
guess the
employees
question out
ever
of
again.
that is the concern that people have. Are you using your powers as president to get personal revenge?
No, I'll tell you what. You're really not asking, and you should be asking. There has never been a president in this country, in the history, that was persecuted like I was persecuted by really crooked people, dishonest, horrible people, and it's been proven. So when you say I'm treating people rough, I'm not treating people rough. I was treated worse than any president in the history of our country.
Oh my God.
And, you know, people figured, well, maybe that's it. Finally, we got, you know, he's leaving town. There goes the helicopter. And then I came back. And I came back because I have tremendous support. You know, when you win an election like I won it, and you will admit I won all 7 swing states, I won the popular vote, I won 2,750 districts compared to 500 districts. That's why the map is all red. And those people feel that I was treated unfairly.
But does that give you the right to go after your political opponents with the powers of this office?
I'm going after, all I'm doing, hey, Biden did something to me, and I did something to Biden. And you know why I did it? Because he's grossly incompetent. That's not a man that should be allowed to, you know, be looking at things that are very confidential.
But what about,
because
there's
he didn't,
71
here's a
people
man
you
that used
revoked.
an auto pen to sign very important documents. Now, who really is, do you think he knew that they were using an auto pen? I mean, he used an auto pen to sign very, very important documents.
Brother, you kept classified information next to the
toilet. Those are really the questions you should be asking. What do you think of the auto pen? Who wielded the auto pen? Because whoever that person was, think of it, whoever the person that wielded the auto pen, he was really the president of the United States. Because
You are
I
the
don't
president,
think,
right.
I don't think that Biden knew anything about it.
Fair enough. But you are the president now, and
Yeah.
I'm asking the justification for going after people you don't like.
No.
That
People
is
that
it.
I think are dishonest. It's not that I don't even know most of them. They're people that I
These
think
people
are
made you
dishonest.
angry.
No, it's not anger. These are people that I think are very dishonest. I don't think they're worthy of being able to go into top secret information. I think that's fine. And Biden did that with many of our people. But when you look at it, these are people that I don't think are worthy. That's my decision. It's not a question of anger.
Okay. I understand you just had a phone call with the new Canadian premier, and they just had this election.
Yeah.
You were a big issue in it, and Canadians, many of them, are
Don't like
really angry, furious about your talk about we're going to take over Canada, is going to become the 51st
That's their
state.
prerogative.
And it kind of is of a piece. A lot of travel is down into the United States from around the world. It
We're doing
feels
great.
like there's been reputational
The country's
damage.
doing great.
Well,
Prices are down.
not the tourism.
Gasoline's down. Energy's down. Tourism is going to be way up. Wait till you see the numbers. The tourism is
None
way
of
up.
this is
I know.
true.
Now Canada, tourism's doing very well. We're doing
No, it's
very well.
not.
We're doing very well. Wait till you see the real numbers come out in 6 months from now. Wait till you see the numbers.
But do you
They're gonna
think,
be
I'm going to
very
ask you,
good.
if I may, do you think the reputation of the United States has gone down under your presidency?
No, I think it's gone way up, and I
Oh
think
my
we're a
God.
respected country again.
He's delusional.
We were laughed at all over the world.
He's
We had
absolutely fucking
president that
delusional.
Couldn't walk up a flight of stairs, couldn't walk down a flight of stairs, couldn't walk across a stage without falling. We had a president that was grossly incompetent. You knew it, I knew it, and everybody knew it, but you guys didn't want to write it because you're fake news.
All right. Thank you.
And by the way, ABC is one of the worst, I have to be honest with you.
Okay. Thank you for the opinion, but more importantly, thank you for having us here. I have one more question. It's a big one. It's a question that you know a lot of people have out there. What do you say to people who are concerned you are seizing too much power and becoming an authoritarian
Holy
president
shit.
like we haven't had
This
before?
guy's
No,
nuts.
I would hate them to think that. I'm doing one thing. I'm making America great again. We have a country that was failing. We have a country that was laughed at all over the world. We had a leader that was grossly incompetent. He should have never been there. The election was rigged. He should have never been there. Our country suffered greatly, and now our country's coming back like nobody can believe. I have editorials just today where they're saying they've never seen anything like it. They love it. Our country's coming back, and we're respected again.
Mr. President, thank you.
Thank you, Terry, very much.
Once again, we want to thank President Trump for
Hell
inviting
yeah,
us to the
Terry.
White House 100 days into his second term.
That was fucking nutty, bro. Terry. That's my boy Terry Moran. Terry's a fucking legend. That was one of the best interviews with Donald Trump I've ever seen. Ever. That is the bravest interviewer who's ever interviewed Donald Trump, I think. What a fucking legend. Anyway, so, quick recap. What did we cover? We started with Trump is a stupid old man who thinks that the letters MS13 are actually tattooed on Kilmar Abrego Garcia's hand. Then we covered Trump wants to go to war with Iran. He wants to strike their nuclear facilities despite the fact that he pulled us out of the Iran nuclear deal. And now we just watched Trump's 100-day interview where he just rambled and rambled about the absolute stupidest shit that I could possibly imagine. It's gotten to the point, guys, where, like, if somebody still supports Trump, I fear there's only two possible ways that they can. One, they're like the people that we convert live. They don't know this stuff. They don't watch these interviews. They don't know that he wants to deport U.S. citizens. They don't know that he wants to have a third term. They don't know this stuff. And the other one is that they do know this stuff, and they are in the cult. That's it. There's only two options now. So do what you can. You know, try to demagify these people. There was a long denazification of Germany, 20-year long period. So, you know, it's going to have to happen at one point. Regardless, thank you for tuning in. If you're here live, you stay. This isn't over. But if you are watching this pre-recorded on YouTube, thank you very much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. This is also real independent media. I have no funding. I've never had a conversation with a advertiser, billionaire, or a government. So if you do want to help this channel out financially, there's a couple of ways you could do it. You could become a patron on Patreon for $5. Big shout out to the patrons. You could become a member on YouTube for $5. Big shout out to the members. You could buy some Valenti Videos merch down below, and you could use that 40% off discount for the Ground News Vantage subscription right down below. Other than that, click that video that's going to pop up right over here. I promise you it's an absolute fucking banger, and I'll catch you on the next one. Toodaloo. All right. That was a 56-minute long video. That was a long one. You guys have fun? Did you guys have fun? Damn, I just missed the video. Don't worry, Micah. It's going to go up. I just got to make a thumbnail. So, other breaking news that we have for now. Trump 100 days, we saw that. Supreme Court conservatives lean towards Supreme Court's conservatives lean towards allowing country's first religious public charter school. Oklahoma Republican Attorney General says the proposal to launch a Catholic virtual charter school. What is a charter school? Yo, what's a charter school? What's a charter school? What's a charter school? The fuck? Online school? I'm not gonna lie, I don't think this is crazy. I would never send my kid to a religious school, but what is the problem? We already have religious schools, Catholic schools, Jewish schools, whatever. What's the problem with letting them do it online? I don't understand the problem with that. It's not like they're forcing people into it. I would never do this. Conservative members of the Supreme Court Wednesday leads toward allowing Oklahoma to approve the first ever religious public charter school in a case that could weaken the separation of church and state. Oh, it's public? Oh, shit! Oh, shit! Holy fuck! Wait a minute. What the fuck? Holy shit on a shingle. Holy ever-loving fuck. Oh my god. 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 Okay, let's make a thumbnail. Let's make a thumbnail. Look at the picture you sent me a couple of days ago. I don't know what you mean, bro. The one about shipping or something? All right, I gotta set this up. What are we on? I think this is episode 104. Yeah, episode 104. We're gonna lose frames. The one about Oklahoma schools, I'll check it out in a bit. So, how's everybody's day? How are you folks? Tell me about your day. Woke to Jesus Christ. Oklahoma's such a fucking back-asswards piece of shit. No offense to Oklahoma people, but the government of Oklahoma is such back-asswards fucking nutcases. All right. Now, what we are going to need is a speech bubble that goes from the top down and large. Something like that would be good. No, I want it to be... We don't even need the speech bubble. Thank you for the $5, Ipsos Lizard. Keep up the good work. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. Thank you very much. What's a crazy quote? Something insane that he said. What's the craziest thing that he said? Thank you for the $10, Kai. Thank you for making these videos. We appreciate you. I really do appreciate that, running with Kai. Thank you very much. W Kai. W Kai. Can I do that? Can I do that? Am I allowed to do that? Am I allowed to fucking do that? Yeah, but like, am I gonna get in trouble for doing that? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, wait a minute. This isn't right. Dude, I hate what's been going on with this. Did he actually say that? No. I'm going to change it. Don't worry. I'm not actually going to say that because I want it to be accurate. He did essentially say due process is meaningless. Forget due process. Screw due process. Fuck due process. Something like that. But I think if I put a curse in the thumbnail, it can't be monetized. Maybe if I have an idea. I have an idea. Is that good? How about the real quote? That'll do. I just want to see if I can do something really fucking stupid real quick. I think you know what I'm trying to fucking do right now. I gotta get rid of like the bottom part of that photo. Hold on, I gotta get rid of the bottom part of that photo. That looks way too fucking real too. That looks so fucking real. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh. You should apologize for being ableist against Trump. Oh, I'm sorry. Whoops. I'm sorry. There we go. Now that's a fucking thumbnail. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. Let's save that shit. Let's save that. Good fingernail, Chris. Very well manicured. Thank you, sir. All right, now we need a title. We're going to lose frames for a second. Episode 104. War. Trump wants war with Iran. Plus his atrocious, his pitiful ABC interview. His brain is melting. All right, let's get this uploaded. When are we wooing? You say woo if somebody brings up like the wolf roleplay. If they're like, I'm the alpha and you're the beta, or like sigma, like that type of shit. Then we hit them with the woo. You're a beta, brother. There it is. Believe it or not, brother, if we're doing wolf roleplay, I'm actually the fucking turbo wolf, brother. I'm the goddamn leader of the goddamn pack, brother. You're the goddamn beta wolf, brother. Oh yeah, brother. You don't know shit about wolves, brother. You want to roleplay? You want to roleplay as wolves? We can roleplay as wolves. Go get your fucking furry costume, brother. Come on, brother. Come on, brother. Let's do it, brother, me and you. I'll show you the fucking wolf. Come on now, brother. Woo! Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah, brother. Hey. Trump wants war with Iran. Pitiful ABC News interview. There we go. Trump had a horrendous interview with Time magazine and another horrendous interview with ABC. Watch as our nation crumbles before your very eyes. You think I'm cute? Did he say I'm cute? Chris, you don't know what a real man looks like? Did you say I'm cute? Wait, do you want to show me what a real man looks like? Do you want to set a place where we could meet up and you could show me what a real man looks like? Come on now, brother. Why don't you show me what a real man looks like? All right, let's get the description. You stink. Nice and good. Oh, Jesus. Isaiah's too shy now? Come on now. You stink of fear. I like that. Come on back, son. Come on back, Isaiah. News and politics? No, there is no AI in this video. I have played Oblivion, yes. Sensitive events. Submit rating. Yeah, guys, you can find me on Feet Finder if you want to pay $49.99 for a picture of my feet. All right, we're going to set this from members to public. Guys, if you want to watch this video immediately, you got to be a member. It's going to be on members only. Oh my God, tomorrow I got to go. Fuck, dude. Tomorrow, I've got to pay the rent. Tomorrow. All right, from members only to public, today at 7 o'clock p.m. So members, you get it to yourselves for an hour and 15 minutes. Trump wants war with Iran. Pitiful ABC interview, his brain is melting. The Valenti VOD, episode 104, post. Got it? All right, it's posting, it's processing. Me and the real men can run the nation. You just do your nails, brother. Hell yeah, brother. You and the real men run the nation. What do you do for a living, brother? I'm sure you're one of them highly qualified. What are you, general? You member chief of staff? You one of them CEOs? You must be running the nation, right, brother? Hell yeah, brother. How many workers you got? I'm in the military. Hell yeah, brother. We love that, brother. You ready to go fucking invade Greenland? You excited to go invade fucking Canada? You excited to go invade Mexico? You excited to go invade Panama? You excited to go invade Gaza? You excited to go invade Iran? Hell fucking yeah, brother. Well, you can't forget, boys, to a hammer, everything looks like a fucking nail. Ain't that right? Hooah. Ain't that right, brother? Hooah. Nah, brother, say that shit to my face. Say what? Say what? Are you excited to go to war in Greenland, Panama, Canada, Mexico, Gaza, and Iran? 6 different places where Trump has threatened to go to war? Yeah, I'll happily say that to your fucking face. Do you not know this? Do you not know this? Hooah! My fucking father was in the Vietnam War. I come from a military family. You think I don't got the fucking... Brother, I don't want you to go to war. That's the difference between us. I don't want you to go fight and die for some fucking bullshit reason. probably fucking crying to his sergeant. Sergeant, there's a fucking YouTuber making fun of me. Can we invade him? Trump's doing a great job, MAGA. Hey, Isaiah, could you tell me one Trump policy that has made your life better? He's going to say no tax on tips. He fucking said it, dude. I fucking called it. So, Isaiah, he didn't pass that. It wasn't in the budget resolution, dumbass. So, could you please name one Trump policy that's actually real that benefits your life? One Trump policy that's actually fucking real. Come on, one. You don't know off the top of your head, bro? So you say that Donald Trump is doing great, and you can't name one single Trump policy that has made your life better? Are you a fucking idiot? Are you? That's fucking crazy. Trump is doing great. What has he done that's so great? I don't fucking know, dude, but everybody around me says that he's great. Try to de-MAGA him? I don't think I can. I think this guy's culted. I mean, listen, hey, Isaiah, I have a three question process with one bonus question that I use to demagify people on the live, and we demagify a lot of different people. And I could attempt it on you if you're willing, but you need to be willing to go through the process. If you'd like, I could try it. What is this, preschool show? I'll do your socialist test, bro. All right, it's pretty simple, especially because you're in the military. The first question is this. It's fairly simple. Which one matters more to you, the United States Constitution or Donald Trump? It's a very simple question. It is question one. It is very simple. Constitution. Okay. Good. If you had said Trump, I would have stopped the conversation there. And I would ask you if you agree with me here. What I say is the people who say Trump matters more than the Constitution, there's nothing anybody can say to convince them. I say that those people are in a cult. Would you agree that if you had said Trump matters more than the Constitution, that's cult-like behavior? Would you agree there? Okay, yeah, the weirdos. Okay, we agree there. Isaiah, we're making good work here. And just so you know, like, I do respect our soldiers. Thank you for your service. Regardless, do you support deporting U.S. citizens to the slave labor camp in El Salvador, despite the fact that that is a direct violation of the United States Constitution? This is question 2. If it's legal. It's not legal, Isaiah. I'm telling you right now. It's not legal. You can't deport somebody born in the United States anywhere because deportation sends somebody to where they came from. Everybody in the United States or that was born on U.S. soil or U.S. citizens are from the United States. You can't deport them. I'll ask you again. Do you support sending U.S. citizens who were born on U.S. soil to a slave labor camp in El Salvador even though it is illegal and unconstitutional. Do you support that? Nah, bro. Okay. Question 3 is this. Would you support a president who says that they want to deport U.S. citizens to the slave labor camp in El Salvador? I said, would you support an administration or a president that wants to deport U.S. citizens born on U.S. soil to a slave labor camp in El Salvador, despite the fact that it is illegal and unconstitutional? Would you support a president or administration that wants to do that? Wait, Ace, wait. No?
You mentioned that you're open to deporting individuals that aren't foreign aliens but are criminals to El Salvador. Does that include potentially U.S. citizens, fully naturalized Americans?
If they're criminals and if they hit people with baseball bats over their head that happen to be 90 years old, and if they rape 87-year-old women in Coney Island, Brooklyn, yeah, that includes them. What do you think? There's a special category of person? They're as bad as anybody that comes in. We have bad ones too, and I'm all for it because we can do things with the president for less money and have great security. And we have a huge prison population. We have a huge number of prisons, and then we have the private prisons, and some are operated well, I guess, and some aren't. But he does a great job with that. We have others that we're negotiating with too. But no, if it's a homegrown criminal, I have no problem. Now, we're studying the laws right now. Pam is studying. If we can do that, that's good. And I'm talking about violent people. I'm talking about really bad people. Really bad people. Every bit as bad as the ones coming in.
Okay, now watch as this guy moves the goalpost and tells me that it's actually okay to deport U.S. citizens, despite the fact that he just said that he would not support an administration that wants to deport U.S. citizens. Watch as he says it's okay. That means people that come from other nations that get citizenship. Nope. Fully naturalized U.S. citizens. He's talking about people born on U.S. soil. And also, Caroline Levitt was asked about this. Nope, you are incorrect. So, clearly, that didn't work. So, we're going to have to move on to the bonus questions, okay? There are 2 bonus questions. Number 1, do you support amending the United States Constitution for the sole purpose of Donald Trump running a 3rd term? Yes or no? This is the bonus question. Or one of 2. There's 2 bonus questions. Me personally, no. Okay, will you continue to support the Trump administration despite the fact that they are trying to violate the United States Constitution in order for Trump to have a 3rd term? Are you still, even though you are a military member and you literally took an oath to protect the Constitution, which apparently didn't mean fucking anything to you, so you're okay with that, right? You're totally okay with them violating the United States Constitution's 22nd Amendment, right? You're totally okay with that, right? Even though you took an oath to protect it? Right? I didn't take that oath, and I care more about the Constitution than you fucking do. Think an amendment means that it's legal? Oh no, sweet, sweet summer child. They're not trying to amend it. They're trying to circumvent it. This is why it's part of the bonus question. You ready? Let me pull this one up for you. They're not trying to amend it. You ready?
I haven't said we're going to amend the Constitution. We're working on 5 or 6 different alternatives that President Trump could run again and be president. And quite frankly, I think 4 or 5 of them are going to work. And I continue to say, as I told Bill Maher, on the afternoon of January 20th.
Let's play that from the beginning again.
I haven't said we're going to amend the Constitution. I haven't said we're going to amend the Constitution. We're working on 5 or 6 different alternatives. I haven't said we're going to amend the Constitution. We're working on 5 or 6 different alternatives that President Trump could run again and be president. And quite frankly, I think 4 or 5 of them are going to work. And I continue to say, as I told Bill Maher, on the afternoon of January 20th of 2029, Donald Trump's going to be president for his 3rd term.
Okay, so that was bonus question number 1. After seeing that, are you okay with Donald Trump doing this? Are you okay with circumventing the Constitution that you took an oath to protect in order for Donald Trump to have a 3rd term? No, that's kind of crazy. Okay, final bonus question. Final bonus question. Do you support this 4-year-old migrant girl facing a deportation judge without her parents or a lawyer? Do you support this 4-year-old migrant girl facing a deportation judge without her parents or a lawyer? Come on, answer. What we're talking about here is the Trump regime terminating a $200 million contract that funds attorneys and legal services for unaccompanied children. We're talking about 26,000 children who are going to face deportation orders without a lawyer. No, Isaiah, no lawyer, no parents. Trump got rid of the program. So do you support 26,000 children facing a deportation order with no lawyer and no parents representing themselves in court, including this 4-year-old girl and her 7-year-old sister? Here, why don't we read some of this? The 7-year-old boy wearing a shirt emblazoned with a pizza cartoon who spun a toy windmill while the judge spoke. There was an 8-year-old girl and her 4-year-old sister in a tie-dye shirt who squeezed a pink plushie toy and stuffed it into her sleeve. None of the children were accompanied by parents or attorneys. So again, tell me, you support this, right? You support these fucking 4- and 7-year-old children facing deportation judges without a fucking lawyer or their parents, right, Mr. Soldier? Right, Mr. Brave Soldier? Right, Mr. Brave Soldier? Right? Mr. Brave Soldier? Unbelievable. It's like teaching empathy to a fucking rock. Let's move on, Chris. This is getting out of hand. Well, that was it. That was the test. So now that the MAGA test is done, my question to you is simple. After everything you just saw, do you still proudly support Donald Trump? Wing. Halloween. Bing. Isaiah, come back. Isaiah. No, not this, but Elon, cut it. So you don't support Donald Trump anymore? Do you or do you not support Donald Trump? Do you support Donald Trump? Yes or no? We're waiting. The whole class is waiting. The whole class is waiting, dude. Thanks for the debate. Fucking pussy. Thank you for your service, brave soldier. Are you not human? No, he's human. He's human. Even our enemies are humans. It'd be easier if they weren't, but they are. They are human. Anyway. That video is uploaded. I'm going to hop off, guys. I got some shit to do now. All right? I got to figure out dinner. I got a bunch of stuff to do. That video's uploaded. I'm going to go. Thank you very much for tuning into the Valenti Videos broadcast. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It costs you nothing, and it helps me immensely. I love you. I love you. I love you. He said, okay, I don't support him. That's bad. Hold on. Wait a minute. Isaiah, you don't support Donald Trump anymore. Isaiah, you don't support Donald Trump anymore now, Isaiah? Isaiah. Did we do it? Did we do it? I don't know, man. That's pretty bad. I think Doge has gotten out of hand. We fucking did it! W. Isaiahs. We love you, Isaiah. Welcome to the OAL, the only Americans left. We are an amalgamation of socialists, Republicans, Democrats, liberals, anarchists. We even got the communists, the radical Marxists. We are the only Americans left. You don't have to agree with everything I fucking say. All you got to do is understand that Donald Trump is a fucking threat to American democracy. Welcome, W. Isaiah. Welcome. We love you, Isaiah. Welcome. We love you, Isaiah. Welcome back, dude. Welcome back. Snap back to reality. I don't like libs, dude. I fucking hate libs. I'm not a liberal. I don't like libs. I'm not a fucking liberal. I'm a goddamn democratic socialist. Now, granted, you might not know what that is. You probably are thinking of communism right now. I'm not a fucking communist. That's not your fault. The American education system is dog shit, and you probably think that socialism is communism. I'm not a fucking communist. We all fucking hate the libs here, dog. We all fucking hate the libs. Hot liberals in your area. I didn't know this shit. That's what I'm saying, Isaiah. I said this earlier. Chat, back me up here. I said this earlier. At this stage of the game, there's only two people who support Trump. People who don't know this shit, and if they did, they wouldn't support him, or people who do know this shit and are genuinely fucking evil. That's it. And I said, Isaiah, I don't think that you're a cultist. The first question I said is, what matters more, the Constitution or Trump? The people who say Trump also are like, yeah, get that 4-year-old girl out of there. Yeah, give Trump a 3rd and a 4th term. Yeah, fucking destroy the Constitution. I don't think you're one of those. Reason being, you're in the fucking military. You took a fucking oath to the Constitution. You probably love our goddamn nation. And this motherfucker is destroying everything. Yeah, you took an oath, dog. You took an oath to the United States Constitution, not to Donald Trump. You know, it's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy, dog. What's your beef with liberals? Modern, like neoliberalism, modern liberalism is about doing nothing. It's about maintaining the status quo because the fucking people at the top, like Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, the Democrat politicians at the top, they benefit from what is happening right now. The current status quo, the bombing of Israel, the keeping money in politics, lobbying, donations, shit like that. The modern liberal, there's a reason why Obama didn't codify a woman's right to an abortion. You know, Roe v. Wade, that could have been codified into law, but they didn't do it because the liberals wanted to be able to run on the platform of, we're going to protect your right to an abortion. Well, if you really fucking cared about that, you would have codified it into the goddamn Constitution, but you fucking didn't. That's what liberalism is. It's about maintaining this, sending American manufacturers, offshoring them overseas and shipping cheap goods into the United States and not raising the minimum wage since 2009. Liberals and conservatives are the different sides of the same fucking coin. I am extremely far to the left. I'm a democratic socialist. I want my tax dollars to go into programs that boost the infrastructure of my city and create monorail systems that connect me to all 50 fucking states. And like, I want my tax dollars to go into a program that makes a free hospital in my city and a free university in my city so that if I have the money and I want to go to Harvard and to go to Phelps Memorial Hospital, I can. But if I don't have the money to go to Harvard or that hospital, there's a fucking option for me to go to that I already paid into through my fucking tax dollars, because right now, all of my fucking tax dollars go to Lockheed Martin, and Lockheed Martin makes a fucking bomb, sends it to Israel, and then Israel fucking kills a brown kid named Mahmoud. So yeah, that's fuck shit. Oh. What am I supposed to do if I'm in the military? I made a video about this. You and the rest of the military, you are all going to receive an order very soon. That order is going to be a violation of the United States Constitution. It is going to be up to you and every other soldier next to you to decide whether or not you want to follow this unconstitutional order or whether you want to do what is right and disobey that order. That is going to happen. It is going to be literally up to you and the rest of your fellow brothers. I'm not kidding. That's what we've come to. And that order is probably going to come within 60 to 90 days. No, you won't get kicked out of the military if you don't follow it, but you probably will get court-martialed. Article 15. Anyway, I'm out of here, folks. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm out of here. I gotta go. I love you. Bye, guys. W, Isaiah. Later.